Hey everyone, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. In this video, I'll explain how you can crochet these little heart squares here, and this crochet pattern is definitely beginner friendly, and we only need 2 types of crochet stitches. I will explain them in this video, and I will also link some more detailed tutorials for them in the description box. I will explain everything step by step and in detail, so that you can follow along easily. So let's get started, and I hope you enjoyed the video. To make these crochet heart squares, you will need 2 different yarn colors. I'm using this acrylic yarn here, but you can also use cotton yarn, and I will leave the details of the yarn in the description box. You will also need a crochet hook of 4.5mm or 5mm if you're really using heavy wool. You will also need a pair of scissors, and if you have one, you will need a darning needle. However, you don't necessarily need one. I would also like to mention that all the stitches that I will mention in this video are in UK terms. Now let's get started. First off, you need to decide what color the heart should be. So in my case, that's going to be the red yarn. And we will use the other color for the background of the heart, and that's the color we will actually start with. So in my case, that's this purple lavender color. To make the bottom chain, you're going to grab your crochet hook and the yarn, so the color for the background yarn, not the one for the heart. And first we're going to make a slip knot. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your crochet hook aside, you're going to take your yarn, put it over your left hand like so, you're going to hold it like this, and then you're going to wrap it around your index finger like so. Now you're going to cross over this end of the yarn, which is the yarn end, like this, and hold this yarn end here. Now the other yarn, you're going to flip over your finger, and you're going to hold this as well. Now you can see you have 2 loops on your finger, and what you're going to do now is you pull the second loop over the first one, and that you can tighten it a little bit, and that will make this slip knot. So this is the beginning of your crochet heart square. And now you can take your crochet hook and you put the loop that you just made, the slip knot, on your crochet hook, and you tighten it a little bit. Not too tight, because we still need to make stitches into this one, but a little bit tight. And now you grab your yarn. I always hold it like this. So basically, take your pinky finger, wrap it around, and then wrap it around your index finger. And then you can hold your chain like so. And now we're going to chain 15 chains and 1 extra chain for turning. So the chains, they work this way. You grab your crochet hook, you go underneath this yarn, so like this, and then you pull it through this loop that we just made with the slip knot. So now we have 15 chains, and just make sure to count them as well. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And now we're going to add 1 more chain, chain 1, and this is going to give the heart square some nice edges all around. And now we start crocheting into the chain that we just made. We will be using half double crochets for the entire heart square, and the stitch works as follows. I'm going to show you now. So we yarn over, which means you put your hook around your yarn like this. So you have your hook like this, and you flip it around like this, you yarn over, and now you're going into the second chain from the hook, so into this one here. Not into this one, but into this one. So we yarn over, we go into this chain. It's a little difficult now, and then we have 3 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over again, this time not like this, but around, so that we can grab our yarn like this, and we're going to pull through just this loop here, so that we have 3 loops on our crochet hook again. And now we're going to yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops at once. I'll show you again. You yarn over, go through your chain, yarn over again, you pull it through, then you have 3 loops, yarn over again, and you pull through all 3 at the same time. And we will do this half double crochet all the way until the end of our row. Now we're at the end of the row, and just make sure to count all your stitches. You should have 15 stitches in total, and this is 1 stitch, for example. So that's 15 stitches. And with the yarn I'm using and the crochet hook I'm using, these stitches are pretty tight and pretty firm. Now if you're using cotton yarn, for example, or you're using a bigger crochet hook, this will turn out differently. But the way that this is going to turn out is going to make the heart look really nice and neat in the middle. So now that we're at the end of this row, we're going to have our crochet hook like this, right? You finished your last stitch just now, and now you're going to chain 1. And what this means is you're going to do one of those chains that we did in the beginning. So you yarn over like this, and you just pull it through, and that's your chain 1. And now you're going to turn your work like a book page pretty much. You just flip it like this, hold your yarn again, and now we're going to do the second row. Now for the second row, we're going to start with 7 half double crochets of this lavender color. So we're going to do these right into the first sort of stitch here, not in this one, but in this one here. And remember, this is all half double crochet, so same as we did before, you yarn over, you go through, yarn over again and pull through. You have 3 loops, and then yarn over and you go through all 3 loops. That's our first stitch here, and we're going to do 7 of these. However, we're going to have to change our color at the 7th stitch, so you're going to do 6 stitches, and then I will show you how to do the color change. Now we have 6 stitches. You can see those here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do the 7th stitch. So it's going to be the same half double crochet, but a little bit different because we need to switch color before we finish off this stitch. So you're going to yarn over, just like before. You're going to go through your stitch, yarn over and pull through. And then you're going to yarn over, and instead of pulling through all 3 loops, you're going to pull through only the first one, so only this one. So you yarn over here, and you pull through carefully, only through the first one, so that you have 3 loops on your hook again. And now you're going to put your work down like this. Just keep the crochet hook in here, nice and tight, and just put it down. And now we're going to grab our next color, which is the color for the heart. And you start off by making a slip knot. And now you're going to grab your heart square, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your loop with the red color onto your crochet hook. And you tighten it a little bit, but not too much, because we need to pull it through all 3 of these loops. So like this. And now you have 2 yarns here, which we're going to use soon. And what you're going to do before you finish this stitch is you're going to drop the purple color in front. So like this. So you have it in the front. And then you have this loose end here, which is also going to stay in the front. And now you're going to grab the red yarn, like we did before. Not the blue, not the purple one. Red yarn like this. And you're going to hold this yarn in place a little bit at the sort of end of this one. And now you're going to pull through all 3 loops with the red yarn. Tighten it a little bit with the purple yarn. And now we've changed color. So now you can tighten the purple yarn a little bit, and you leave both of these ends in the front. This is very important, otherwise the heart pattern is going to look a bit weird soon. So now you have your second color on your hook, and now we're going to do a half double crochet, but we're only going to do one of these and we're going to switch color immediately again. So I will show you the whole color switch thing again in a second. So now you're going to grab your yarn like this, yarn over, go through the next stitch, and then you have 3 loops again. And now you're going to yarn over again and only pull through the first loop like we did just now with the purple. And now you're going to do the same thing that we just did, but we're going to switch back to the purple color. So this thread that we put in front earlier, we're going to pick that up again in a minute. So now you still have your red yarn on your fingers, but we're going to drop this one in the front, not in the back, very important. We drop this in the front of your beginning of your heart square, just leave it hanging there. And then we pick up the purple yarn, pick it up like so, just put it around your fingers and hold it. And then you can hold your stitches like this, if that helps you. And then yarn over and pull through all 3. Now you can tighten the red yarn a little bit, tighten the purple yarn, and now we continue and finish the row. And the 7th one is a bit tricky to see. 7 half double crochets with the purple color until the very end of this row. Stitch on top, and we're going to go in here and make sure that we have both of these loops here on the hook, and then do a half double crochet. Now that is the first row of your heart square, and now we're going to do what we did in the first bottom row. We're going to chain 1 and flip our work. So now we have our first row, which is just a single like purple row of stitches. We have our second row with 1 red stitch in the middle, and now for row 3 we're going to do 5 half double crochet at the beginning. So 5, and we're going to switch at the 5th. And at the 5th stitch, we're not going to finish the stitch all the way. We're going to go through the chain, the stitch here. Going to yarn over and pull through the first loop of this 5th stitch, and now we're dropping the yarn at the back before we drop it at the front. Now, because we turned our work and we want to keep all the yarn at the back so we have a nice front, we're gonna drop the purple yarn at the back, and then we'll pick up the red yarn and just pick it up like so, yarn over and pull through all 3. Pull the purple yarn a bit tight, and now we're going to do 4 half double crochet with red, and we're going to switch at the 4th. So what that means is you're going to do 3 full half double crochets in red, and then the 4th one we're going to do the color switch. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Only yarn over and go through the first loop. We're dropping the red yarn at the back again and picking up the purple one. And now you can see that I'm not carrying this yarn through the whole heart square, which you can do, which is some of the options in the color switching methods, but otherwise you can also just drop it at the back and pick it up when you need it, and that way you will use up less yarn. So now you can see this is where I ended up crocheting with the purple before, and now I'm picking it up again. And you need to make sure, if you just drop it at the back like I'm doing, that you have enough yarn at the back so that your crochet piece isn't going to be like pulled tight together. So you can hold it at the back a little bit like this, just that you have enough yarn so that it won't be pulled together. And now you yarn over and go through your red stitch. Now you can see this is the back. It's kind of nice and loose, and at the front you have a nice neat front. And now we're going to do 6 half double crochets until the end of this row, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So now for this row, we're not going to drop the yarn at the back when we switch color, but we're going to drop it at the front. So when you're crocheting, always make sure that you drop the yarn on the back side of this crochet work, which is always going to be this side. If you have it like this, you're going to drop it at the back, but if we have it like this, you're going to drop it at the front, so always at this side. Now for this row, we're going to start off with 4 half double crochets of the purple color. We're going to switch at the 4th stitch, and then we're going to do 7 half double crochets in red, and then another 4 half double crochets in purple. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do the next row. Before that, I'm going to show you how to detangle your yarn, because if you keep switching colors, then these yarn ends will get tangled up. So how you can do that is you're going to take your hook, pull up a long loop so that none of the crochet stitches come undone. You're going to put down your crochet piece. You can already see this is going to be the heart later. And you're going to pick up the ends where you can find them, both of your yarns, and then you can pull them apart and twist them. Now, they're not tangled right now, but if they were twisted sort of, you can just pick up your crochet piece and hold it a bit, and then it will untwist itself automatically. Now we're going to move on to row 1, 2, 3, 4, row 5 already. So for row 5, we're going to chain 1 again. We'll do this at the end of every row. Flip your work. Now we're going to do 2 half double crochets of purple at the beginning. So 1, and then if I say 2 half double crochets of one color, then that means that you need to switch at the second already. And now we're going to add 10 of those red half double crochets. So now I did 9 half double crochets in red, and we're going to do the 10th, and we're going to switch color. So again, only through the first loop, drop the yarn at the back. Now you're picking up the yarn of purple from the very other side, so make sure that it's nice and flat on the back side, so it doesn't sort of pull it together like this. And just look at the back a little bit, hold it. You can also like fold it like this, then it will be definitely long enough. Then you yarn over and pull through. Pull the red yarn a little tight and leave it at the back. And now we're going to add 3 more half double crochets of purple. So 1, 2, and 3 in the last one. Chain 1, turn your work, and now we're going to do 2 half double crochets of purple. We're going to do 11 half double crochets of red, and then 2 half double crochets of purple at the end. And that is our 6th row done. And now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and you'll see it looks a bit like a triangle right now, but we're going to start with the little heart tops sort of now. So now we're going to chain, well, not chain, we're going to do 2 purple half double crochets, 1 and then another one, and we're going to switch color. And now we're going to do 5 red half double crochets, and then we're going to switch 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one you're going to yarn over like for the color switch, only through 1 loop. Put the red yarn at the back, pick up your purple yarn, hold it a little bit at the back, and now we're going to do 1 purple stitch, so only 1, which means that we're going to yarn over with the purple through all the red, and now we're going to yarn over, go through the next stitch, and now we're going to change color immediately again, so like we did at the very first stitch. So yarn over, pull through only the first loop, and pick up your red and pull through. Pull the purple a little bit tight. And now we're gonna do 5 more red half double crochets and then 2 of the purple at the end. Now you can see it's getting a little bit like a heart, but not quite yet. So we're going to add 1 more row with the red and then we're going to finish it off. So you chain 1, turn your work. I think my phone just moved a little bit, that's why I was pausing to check if everything's okay. But now chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to do 2 half double crochets of purple again. 1 and 2, and we switch again. And now we're going to do 4 red, so 4 half double crochets of red. Then we're going to do 2 purple half double crochets and then 4 half double crochets of red again. This is our 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch with the purple, and then we're going to do 3 of the purple again. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Now we're going to chain 1, turn your work. And now we're going to finish off our square. So it looks a little bit like a heart, but we're going to do 2 rows of just the purple color, and then that's going to finish off the heart in a pretty nice way. So you've chained 1 and you've turned your work, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do 15 half double crochets of purple color one way. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and do the second row. So now I'm back at this row, but now you can see it's not a super perfect square, so we're going to add 1 more row of just the lavender color half double crochet at the end. So you're at the end of this row, chain 1, turn your work, and again this red yarn is just at the back here where you left it off. You can just leave it here. We're going to sew in this end later on, but for now we're going to do 15 half double crochets again until the end of this row, and then we're ready to sew in the ends. So I'll meet you at the end of this very last row. So now you don't need to chain 1, you can just simply turn your work and have a look at your heart square, because this is what it looks like when it's all done. I also posted a tutorial on how to sew in the ends of the heart square, and you can find this video on my page or in the description box of this video. As I mentioned earlier, you can also do this heart square with cotton yarn, and then the heart will look a little bit like this here. Here I used yarn suitable for 4.5 to 5mm crochet hooks, and I used my 4.5mm crochet hook to make these heart squares. It does look slightly different than the one we just made, but I think that's okay, so if you're using cotton yarn, this is how it will turn out in the end. Also, with this heart square pattern, I actually made a heart bag, which you can see here. And I'm currently working on a crochet pattern for this bag, so if you're interested in that, check out my Instagram for updates on the pattern, and I will also be announcing it here when I will be releasing it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first ever tutorial and I really enjoyed filming it, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I would also love to hear your feedback on this video, so do leave some comments if you like. And if you like, you can go check out my Instagram and TikTok. I post more crochet content on there, but also some artworks and other things, so come say hi if you like. But for now, I wish you a wonderful day, and thank you for watching!